Welcome back to this YouTube site, and the title of this, The Spirit Dimension and Overcoming of Lostness, a very necessary discovery within your life. To put it simply, God has taken me in to a portion of the spirit dimension. Been there, seen it, know it. Now, God did not leave me in it, because to leave me in it for too long and bring me back into this world, there is no way the bodily state can tolerate an extended stay with the spirit dimension without it leaving very, very soon from it. You cannot. I've experienced, by the way, qualities of the spirit dimension which are so filled with the powers of an incredible energy that's there beyond what the human mind and what the human body can tolerate, that there's no way to be able to stay in that and function within this world. But God has taken me into the spirit dimension and deposited with me experiences of it which tell me what the values of the spirit dimension is. Do I have any hesitancy, for instance, about dying? The answer is no. Have none whatsoever. Do I have any qualms about being different than Bob Welpin, of throwing away Bob Welpin in order to pick up Bob of God? The answer is no qualms whatsoever. I have no interest in going on with this human existence except for one aspect, that God showed me that there was a peace in this Bob of God, this eternal being, that was absolutely different from this survival-oriented human mind and the killing, manufactured existence that we have made in this world. I've seen what it was. When I came into that state and I met God, there was absolutely no fear within me of God's qualities. There was a total acceptance, a reception of me. I've mentioned in other portions of these dictations that when Mary was shown to me, beloved Mary, the mother of Jesus, and who now I know is also Mother God, which has been hidden from the world by the male influence, putting women down, and Mary lost to people their awareness of her as who she truly was, and it wasn't reported properly in Scripture. It was hidden. When I saw Mary, all it was a totally accepting Mary whose arms were out to welcome me, to come to her. When I'm with Jesus, there is this sense of belonging that I gaze upon him, and I gaze into Jesus' face, into his eyes, and his eyes have this quiet look within them that when I show images of it, because some of the icons about Jesus have this quality there, one can see that this quietness look is an acceptance of where we are, a receptivity of where we are, not an isolation of us, not a pushing of us away, but a welcoming back to the awareness of who God is. Now, if they are that way, and if God has created us in God's image, then we can go take another step. What's heaven like at this point? I was not taken into heaven in order to see if I was going to be playing a soprano saxophone or a flute or a violin. None of the activities of heaven were shown to me. What was shown was the acceptance, the love, the interrelatedness, the safety of myself with others. This was shown to me. And so I do know that God's opening of self to me, of welcoming me in, means that whatever it is that pleases God, that brings God joy, God makes me aware of that to have it myself. And so when people say to me, well, what's heaven like? I said, I don't care. I simply know I'm loved. And in being loved, God is going to grant to me all that love would want to provide to me. Joy, peace, creativity, whatever it is in a cosmic sense, in the beingness of it. And I tell you one of the statements that God made, and you look at this statement, again it's in the footladder. God says to me, there is but one truth, one truth. You are God and you are loved. Nothing else is the truth. I am a God being. No worries about sickness, death, non-existence, nothing. I exist. God made me to exist. God made you to exist. If God didn't make you to exist, you wouldn't exist. There'd be nothing. You didn't even know that there was a you. God made us as a you who is one with each other and with God. Ye are God's and ye are loved. That's the only truth. But Bob, I don't feel that kind of a thing. Then you're into an illusion. It's not the truth. You're seeing the threats of your human mind that makes you think that there is something else than that. Well, there is not. God made you. God made you as an eternal being, loved, and a loved eternal being. This is what the afterlife is like, a life of love. And God would permit you to experiment, to enjoy whatever it is that you would want to be. You're free to be what God would be. God gives himself freedom. God created you. God entitles you to be a creator as well. To indulge yourself in the creativity of love that is you. God gives you that. This is what heaven is. You can't outthink God in terms of what God makes available to you as the options and the pleasures and the joys of what you could evolve into in the heavenly scene. And so that's my only portion of heaven that I say, I know that this is the truth because God made me as an eternal being. God made me as a spirit being. There is but one truth. Ye are God's and ye are loved. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can interfere with how God created me for what I was. I never can get lost. Never can. I can't lose my godliness and I can't lose my being loved. And heaven is the expression of the godly being and of the loving being that God had made us. That's heaven. The perfection of love and the joy that it brings to you. That's heaven, with an integration of ourselves with all of God's people, all feeling the love of God and of each other, and feeling the love of God with us. That's the afterlife. That's godliness. That's the joy of knowing that God created himself to come into this world to get you back home in order to feel it. Hope it's helpful.